So welcome to this interview. Well, I wouldn't call it an interview, it's an interaction with Dr. Daniel Grove, who has come all the way from USA, to be more exact, from Indiana University, Indianapolis, and then he's a second-year dermatology resident, and he's interested in pediatric dermatology and dermasurgery. So I have the honor to talk to, like I said, to Dr. Daniel Grove, so that he tells us a little bit about his experiences and his visit to DISHARC and his interaction with other dermatologists in this country. Dr. Daniel Grove, first of all, welcome to Nepal.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
And nice to see you over here in our communications department. Now, let's talk about your USA engagements. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing over there?
Sure, yeah. So right now I'm a second-year dermatology resident at Indiana University. It's a 4-year dermatology residency program, much like here in Nepal. The first year is medicine, and the last 3 years focuses on dermatology training. At our specific institution at Indiana University, we rotate through different clinics. Some more have a county focus, some more have a private clinic focus, and then there's pediatric focus as well. And then within those, we'll get experiences in surgery as well. So much like what you have here at DISHARC, but DISHARC has a unique experience that they get more of tropical medicine and tropical dermatology and more treatment in skin of color, which we don't have the opportunity to see in Midwest America, which is really unique and has made this experience great.
So, like you said, you are from USA, and then you are from the University of Indiana, and you are particularly based in that region, or you're working somewhere else?
Nope. So we're focused right there. We work between 4 or 5 hospitals. They're all on one campus, and that's where we do primarily all of our work. There are some outlying clinics that we travel to, but most of it is within that one hospital system, which is in the center of the major city of the state.
And then what is the condition like, let's say, about the status of dermatology at the university where you are engaged at? And can you give us some examples as to regarding the dermatological progress in your field? Yeah,
I think dermatology is at an exciting point right now. I think you can see it here at DISHARC in terms of how they're growing and going to grow into a new building. I think same with our residency program right now. We're growing our pediatric department, we're growing our surgical department, and I think that's one because there's a need. There's a huge need for dermatologists right now, and I think patients, especially in America and similarly here, they want experts in their fields. And I think that's just a sign or reflection of how much the field is growing.
And now let's talk about your visit to Nepal, and where you are visiting DI Skin Health and Referral Center, in the abbreviated form DISHARC.
Yep.
So what brought you over here?
So I was fortunate enough to somewhat follow in the footsteps of Dr. Hagstrom. She's our former residency program chair, and now she's assistant program chair, and she heads our pediatric dermatology residency. So she had traveled here in the past as part of the volunteer program in terms of pediatric dermatology, and she had met everyone here at DISHARC, was impressed with the facilities and what they could teach and provide, and I thought that would be a good experience and something I would want to take part in.
So then you have found, let's say, a good partner in Nepal to work with one day. Well, if not work with, to cooperate with one day, yeah?
100%. I think it's easy. Everyone's been very welcoming, and from that it's been easy to make both professional and just personal friendships with everyone who works here. So I think my ultimate goal is to do a pediatric fellowship. Afterwards, I think there's a lot of discourse and things that can be learned from each other in terms of pediatric dermatology from the States and here in Nepal. Just because that pediatric dermatology fellowship is not yet set up in this country. So I think that's a great avenue for future relationships.
Yeah, like for example, let's talk about the infrastructure.
Yeah.
I mean, the infrastructure which you find in Nepal where dermatology is flourishing, and more people have become interested in this particular subject. And talking about USA has a very good and outstanding infrastructure to work with. But if I'm talking about infrastructure, it means all the latest technology that has been used or being used there. So, did you find any differences in terms of infrastructure between the United States and Nepal?
I think there's a lot, and I think you can either talk about it as either talk about health insurances and what patients have, and then you can talk about it from the standpoint in terms of available technology.
No, you feel free, Doctor.
I think
love to talk.
So I'm impressed. So I think what DISHARC does great is it does the best for its patients. Whether those patients be patients who have little and don't have financial means, and they're still able to provide great care for them. And then on the other side, I still think it's impressive the amount of lasers and surgical operations you perform here. I didn't expect to see the variability of lasers that you have here, whether it be a CO2 fractional or pulse dye laser, in addition to you have all the things that we normally use, like narrowband UVB light, UVA light, and you're also doing dermabrasions, you're doing hair transplants, you're doing epidermal grafting for vitiligo. I mean, that's many things we do back in America, which I was quite impressed with.
Yes, of late, DISHARC has already been well known abroad, because it has got some affiliations even with some universities in USA. And the recent conference, ISHAT, International Conference on E-Health and Telehealth, the first ever conference in this country, was accepted well, and the representation of the guest speakers from many countries were over here, even from the United States. So that interaction led or created even more grounds, more possibilities for DISHARC to come forward, to forge ahead with its objectives and so on. So I wouldn't call DISHARC, health referral center, skin health and referral center to be on the minimal scale, but it has come up really great. Well, under the guidance of an eminent dermatologist of this country, Professor Dr. Anil Kumar Jha, whose dream has always been to establish a nice skin hospital, which he did, and of course the new building is also coming up. So this makes us, everybody at DISHARC very happy. And I just don't know whether he told you about some of the telemedicine centers outside of Kathmandu.
I actually haven't heard much about it. I read a lot into the abstracts and I was impressed with what was being said.
So I can tell you a little bit about that. 75 kilometers away from Kathmandu, there's a place called Gerkuta. They have got a telemedicine center there. And then there's another place, Mudi Kua in Parvat district. And the third one is in Bhavan Gava, somewhere in Tarai.
Okay.
So, and some are also here operating on the suburbs of Kathmandu Valley. So DISHARC is really spreading its tentacles, wherever possible, so far as the enhancement of the ideals of, to spread the ideals of dermatology everywhere. What do you think? You find it good?
I find it amazing. Because even in America, that's one of our issues. You have a lot of dermatologists in main urban areas that can provide a lot of good care, but then there's a lot of underserved areas. So I think one is amicable, one it's impressive that they're able to spread their outreach and help people in all these other areas through telemedicine.
But still, because of Nepal being a landlocked country, that means, plenty of mountains, lots of mountains everywhere. So that makes life also a bit difficult. Well, not a bit, very difficult when it comes to transportation, when it comes to some facilities and so on, where you don't have airstrips, where you cannot fly properly. There are some, but they are not enough. So still people are struggling to attain the goals of dermatology by just spreading its values and its facilities as far as they can. So maybe you are going to take some positive and negative impressions. What would be
All
the
positive.
negative impressions you are going to take with you?
I'm not sure right now. That one you might have to come back to me on.
It could also be, let's talk in this way. It would be, well, the people, the mentality,
No.
right? It could be also like you say, you're talking about the health insurance. Well, these are the things.
So there's things that can be improved.
Yeah.
I don't think they're
Yeah,
negatives. I mean, that's just anywhere. Even if you
Yeah.
practice in America, you have to deal with limitations, whether it be insurance
Yeah.
companies and what medications are approved, versus here in, say, Nepal and Kathmandu is you can pretty much get any medication you want over the counter. So it changes and challenges the way dermatologists work because it changes the morphology of things we see. It changes the course of a normal disease.
Well, right.
So I think that's one of the negatives of practicing here.
Yeah, the reason why I asked you is this. Long ago, most probably in March, when I joined this communication department, I interviewed Dr. Irina Corrales. She was from Costa Rica, right?
Okay. Oh yeah.
Costa Rica, settled now in USA. And the same question I asked her, okay, Dr. Corrales, I mean, you have been speaking so highly of Nepal and the facilities here at DISHARC and so on. What did you find negative in this country? So she also could not give me the answer immediately. And then she said, yes, I've got something. What she said was, actually in this country, what I really found bad and negative is people can go to a pharmacy and get medicines without any prescriptions.
And that's the same thing I was alluding to. I think if you're going to expand upon that, that's the one thing. And it's more so about patient safety too. Because you can get a lot of the medications re-regulated in America for good reason because of high risk of side effects. You can easily get over the counter here. And I think to go along that, the difficulty too in terms of using a lot of these medications and safety, it's difficult for patients to get lab tests.
To be very
so that's one of the challenges.
Yes, and also, I mean, it is quite dangerous to walk into a pharmacy and then asking for medicine without any prescription. Because you know the person, and he said, well, let me have this. But he knows the patient very well, and then he says, okay, have it. But that can bring bad results.
Oh, for sure.
On the health of the person. And then I don't know whether he's taking the right kind of medicine or the right kind of dose or the right amount of tablets he's supposed to inhale and so on. So that is actually what I would say, need to improve.
And there's no record of that either, right?
No.
So that's the other difficulty.
No. Well, if I go to the pharmacy and then the pharmacist cannot tell me when I came there, when I visited him last time, I'm not turning the pages quickly.
Yeah.
You wouldn't find my name.
Yeah.
Because that was done, rather orally in this way. All right, then what are your other plans while you are here?
Yeah, so with my last few days, I'm going to go on a trek locally to Halambu, which is about 3,500 meters or so high, kilometers high, and then I think I'll be here.
You're going alone?
No, I'm going to have a guide. I'm going to have a guide.
All right. It's always good.
I'm brave enough to do those things.
Oh,
yes, it's safer to go with a guide. So
good.
I'm excited to experience some more culture, get some exercise, and enjoy the Himalayas.
So we wish you a pleasant trek.
Thank you.
A very adventurous trek, I would say. Enjoy your trek and enjoy your weather. I've shown you for 5 or 6 days the weather is going to be fine.
Unfortunately.
The sun will shine.
Yeah.
So I wish you all the best. And then
Thank you so much.
come back again.
I will.